Set, go.
Hello everybody, thank you for giving up your precious time to come here today. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mandy Zylermaker and I'm the office team leader here at Flounder and Associates. There is an attendance sheet floating around, so can you please sign that and check your email addresses to make sure they're accurate as well. A little bit of housekeeping before we start. If we do need to evacuate, we'll just make our way out the front of the building. And if you haven't done already, can you please pop your phone onto silent? I'll try and get through this presentation in 10 minutes, but if you want to ask questions along the way, that's fine, just pop your hand up. This presentation will also be recorded, so it can be viewed at a later date, and just letting you know that some of the images, some of you may find a little confronting. Right, today I've been asked to present to you on how to be sustainable in the workplace. Things that we'll be covering, we'll be talking about some definitions, we'll be talking about the environmental impacts and some of the waste that we produce here, and then we'll be talking about how we can achieve a sustainable workplace. Here are some definitions, but basically, to be sustainable focuses on how we live in harmony with the world, meeting the needs of the present and future without compromising the environment in the process. Nature gives us so many free things. Clean air, water, beautiful landscapes. The list is endless. How many of you would like to be there today instead of here? I can see some of you saying yes. Yes, me too. When nature is left alone, it has this amazing ability to be able to care for itself. Unfortunately, when man enters the picture, this is what happens. Along with our increasing population growth and the fact that we have become a throwaway society, Australia is one of the highest generators of waste in the world per capita. We probably put our waste in the bin and never think about it ever again. Out of sight, out of mind. But there is no place that everything just goes. It has to end up somewhere. I'm sure we've all become probably better at managing our waste at home, but considering we spend a lot of our time at our workplace, it's important that we also focus on waste at work. Here are some of the waste that we produce in our work. Commercial and industrial businesses are huge contributors to our waste problem. Are huge contributors to our waste problem. 1/3 of the waste produced by businesses is actually packaging, particularly plastics. Not only is plastic made from non-renewable natural resources such as crude oil, gas and oil and coal, it's become a huge problem with much of it going into our landfill and ending up in our waterways. Not surprisingly, in an office environment, paper is the single biggest contributor to our waste, often consisting of print mistakes, junk mail, handouts, billing, presentations. Other miscellaneous items that we produce in the office that can't actually be recycled are things like disposable coffee cups, styrofoam, and thin plastics. We also actually dispose of 20% of the food that we actually purchase. Another huge problem now in the waste industry is e-waste or electronic waste. As technology is developing, e-waste is the fastest growing waste stream in the world. It's generated 3 times faster than all other forms of waste. E-waste is basically anything that's discarded with a plug or a battery. So things like computers, monitors, mobile phones, lamps, the list is endless. Batteries are actually an important component of e-waste as well. Often they are difficult to get out of the item, but often people just throw it away as a convenience. Another problem with e-waste is that it contains small amounts of hazardous pollutants. They can have an environmental and public health concern. So what can we do in our office environment to cut down on our waste? The 3 R's. It's not really that hard to reduce our waste within the office. It's just simply about using logical and practical solutions. The benefits to a business's cash flow and to the environment in general are huge by following these 3 R's. Reduce. If we reduce the amount of waste that we make in the first place, then we're halfway there. If we don't buy products that we just don't simply need, or when we do purchase products, we buy products that are going to last. Buying in bulk also cuts down on packaging, and it also reduces costs for the business as well. Paper is a huge issue in the office environment, as I said. So how do you think we could reduce some of our paper wastage? Anyone?
Oh, printing on your pieces of paper twice?
Yep, that's something that we could do. Here are some other ideas here. Before you print, just remember to ask yourself, do I really need to print this? Reducing paper not only does have a financial benefit, but it has a huge saving to our environment. Reducing energy, again, can save a huge amount of money for the business, but is also helping with our environment as well. If we dress appropriately for the office and close our windows and doors when the heating and cooling is on, if we use the power saving features on our devices, like the hibernation and the standby mode, so that when we're actually not at our electronic devices, they go into a standby mode. Sensors are another thing that we can do. Here at Flounder and Associates, we will actually be installing some sensors into the bathroom, into the kitchen, so that when we're not using these areas, the lights will go off. The other thing that we need to get into the habit of doing is reusing things instead of throwing them away. Perhaps someone else in the office can reuse what you are no longer using. You can repurpose things. The next R is recycle. A lot of us, I would imagine, if not all of us, are very good at recycling at home, but we often forget to do that in the work environment. Recycling basically means collecting of rubbish and repurposing it into something else. By recycling our e-waste, we can not only prevent those hazardous pollutants from ending up in landfill, but there's actual valuable metals that are found in the e-waste. I was personally surprised to see that so much gold is contained in e-waste. Here's a list of some of the things that we can actually recycle at the office. So what are we going to do here? Air dryers will be installed in the bathrooms and the common areas to reduce our paper towel usage. When purchasing, I would ask that we try and buy goods from companies that use recyclable, reusable or compostable materials, and we buy from companies so that it doesn't have to be transported for long distances. There will now be paper recycling boxes scattered around the office near the printers, the photocopiers, the areas of the high paper usage. Please use them. Do be mindful that not to contaminate them with rubbish. So things like sticky notes can actually not go in recycling because they have the sticky residue on them. Also remember that because of the nature of our business, some of our documents are sensitive, so please don't put those straight into the recycling. They will be shredded and then we will recycle them or use them for packaging. We'll also be putting some containers so we can recycle our bottles, our cans, our printer ink cartridges, toner, and our plastics. The other thing here that we're actually offering at Flounder and Associates is we will be putting a bin outside down in the car park area, which we can put in our e-waste. So we're encouraging everyone here to put in their e-waste into that bin, but we're also encouraging you to bring your e-waste in from home so that you're not tempted to throw it into the rubbish. We will then use a certified e-waste remover to take the e-waste away. In conclusion, I would like to ask that at Flounder and Associates, we make a concerted effort to try and reduce the quantity of waste we produce. We seek out and choose environmentally friendly products. We recycle, we reuse and we repurpose when and where we can. If we do this, we can make a real difference to this wonderful planet that we live on, not only for us and for our children, but for future generations. I'd now like to ask if there's any questions that anyone would like to ask for clarification, or anyone? No, all fairly self-explanatory. I'd also like to remind you that there is a observation feedback checklist in light of today's talk. I'm not actually going to print that out. It will be filled out electronically. So again, please just make sure on that form that your email address is accurate, and I will send you the link. You can do it anonymously. You don't need to put your name on it, but I would really encourage you to do that, please. Right, if there's nothing else, no questions? All right, thank you. Thanks for coming today.